Hello and welcome to your Coach's Zone class. Is anybody listening? How to get heard above the noise and connect with your perfect clients. I'm Karen Rutter. I'm the Coach's Coach and the founder of the Coach's Zone. And I'm absolutely delighted that you've decided to join me today for this class. But actually, delighted might not be the right word because I know why you're here. And it's not anything to be happy about, is it now? I'm guessing you signed up to get this class because you're plugging away on all the social media platforms, straining your brain to create loads of lovely content and get it out there, all to try and attract the right people who you can convert into paying clients. That's what you're doing, right? The problem is, it's not working, is it? You're not getting any engagement on your Facebook page. It's like a ghost town. You're not getting as many sign-ups to your list as you want. That's resulting in you not getting enough inquiries. You're not booking in discovery calls. And all of that results in the fact that you probably haven't got enough clients. You're not serving the number of people that you want to serve. And that's leading you to feel invisible, unheard. And frankly, this is something I hear from a lot of coaches all the time, and I've been there myself too, believe me. And you're feeling lost. You're feeling lost in the oceans of other coaches who are all doing the same thing as you. It is so frustrating. It really is. All that hard work that you're putting in, all that effort and everything, and it's just not doing it for you. So, in this class today, I want to see what we can do to fix that. Okay, we're going to get into this and see what we can do to fix what's going on here for you so that you are making those connections with people who you can then talk to and get into conversations about and turn into paying clients, your perfect clients, the ones that are just right for you. Just before we get into it, let me tell you a little bit about me. And don't worry, this isn't going to be one of those classes where I spend the next 20 minutes telling you how wonderful I am. All I want you to know is that I am qualified to help you with this, okay? I have been coaching other coaches now for, oh lordy, well over 10 years. And, well, basically my clients get results, all right? And, well, they just do. So, you know, I've been around the block. I've made all of the mistakes that you're making right now. I'm still making some of them. But, we've also worked out how to get past them. If you need to know a bit more about me, if you don't know me already, then you can go to my website, karenrutter.com. You're actually watching this video on the Coach's Zone site, so you can have a little meander around there as well. So you can find out everything you need to know about me at the website, karenrutter.com. So that said, I did promise I'm not going to go on for ages. Let's get stuck into sorting out your problem about not being heard. So let's examine the cause of the problem first then. Okay, about why you're not getting the engagement, about what it is that you're probably doing wrong that's stopping you from connecting in the way that you want to connect with your perfect for you clients. And, you know, that's the crux of it. It is about connection, this. It's about making that right connection. We'll talk more about that later. But the probable causes, you're probably doing one or, I hope not, even more of some of the following. So the first one is that you're saying the wrong things to the wrong people, all right? And all that's doing is just like tumbleweed everywhere, you know, kind of like nobody's responding to you. And, you know, a classic example of that is if you've ever been to a physical networking event, you know, where people actually get in the room and have breakfast together kind of networking event, you know, you could be talking about how you're a life coach and how you help people with various challenges and things, but you're talking to people who are really just there to promote their own businesses. They're not ready to listen to you. That's a classic case of saying the wrong things to the wrong people. Now, it could be that you're saying the right things, but to the wrong people. So it could well be that, you know, you've got your elevator pitch, as they call it, you know, your expression of how you work with people and how you help people, and you've got that really lovely and clear and succinct, but again, you're saying it to the wrong people. You're saying it to people who maybe aren't interested in what you do, who are not the right clients for you for whatever reason. And again, we'll talk more about that a little bit later on. But that's another common cause, saying the right things, but to the wrong people. You could also be saying the wrong things, but to the right people. So it's quite possible that you have found those people who are potentially your tribe, your community, but you're saying the wrong things to them, and this is actually very common. You know, you're not talking to them in a language that they understand. You're not hitting their buttons, and that's really what we're going to explore in an awful lot more depth through the course of this class. Oh, I'm just going to have to say this one. You are saying the same things as every other coach on the planet. Okay? A quick scroll through Twitter or, around Facebook, and you'll see straight away that, the same stuff over and over and over again. How can you expect to differentiate yourself if you're saying, from other coaches out there, how can you expect your perfect for you client to spot you as the right coach for them if you're saying the same as everybody else? This is endemic. Dare I say that? Endemic. And really, when you're doing that, and if you're making any of these mistakes, and my guess is you are, otherwise you wouldn't be listening to me now, what it boils down to is that you're not really saying anything that anybody wants to hear. Not in any kind of really meaningful way, not in a way that is going to start that conversation that we need to start. Okay? So, what do we do about that? All right? What do we do about that? So, where do we want to get to? Well, the ideal, really, is that you want to be saying exactly the right things to exactly the right people. You want to be starting conversations that allow your perfect clients to feel a connection to you. Okay? And this is so, so important. We're coaches. Okay? We're not selling pizzas. We're not selling shoes, handbags, anything like that. We're selling us and our solution to the people who need us. And just as an aside, if that word selling there kind of raised your hackles a little bit, then, that's maybe another conversation we need to have. But basically, what I'm trying to get to is that the coaching relationship is a special one. The relationship between coach and client is a special one. And it's not something generally that people enter into because there's a 2-for-1 offer or anything like that. Buy one handbag, get a second one free. I'd be tempted by that. But it doesn't work like that in the coaching relationship. It's even if we're looking at something like accountancy services, where someone else is providing a personal service, it's still about how much do you charge and what would you do for me kind of thing. The coaching relationship is much deeper than that. It's much more personal. Generally speaking, our clients come to us because they're in a place where they just need some help to get out of a problem, a challenge, out of the rut, whatever it is that you help people with. But to be able to choose a coach, they need to feel that we know who they are, that we understand their challenges, that we know how it makes them feel, that we know what they really, really want. Danger of breaking into a Spice Girls song there. Wish that hadn't come into my head. But they need to know that they feel us too, that they know us. They need to feel that. Because the coaching relationship, in essence, I believe, is based very much on that interpersonal relationship and on trust. And we'll keep coming back to this. And so they want to work with a coach who not just gets them, but as in any other relationship, any other personal relationship in life, they want to work with a coach who they feel shares their values. Even if they don't phrase it like that, we do have to be careful when we're talking to potential clients about not using too coachy language that they don't understand, unless, of course, you're working with other coaches. And they need to feel that they can trust us generally, and specifically they need to feel that they can trust us to help them with the challenge that they've got. Okay? And that, I want, this is really important, because this is the whole crux of this class, if you like, is understanding the relationship that we're trying to set up here, understanding the connection that we're trying to make, understanding that what we're trying to do is we're trying to get into some kind of conversation with the people who are perfect clients for us, so that they can feel a connection to you as a coach. Because if they don't feel that connection, the likelihood of them hiring you is pretty remote. Okay? So remember that. We're keeping that at the very core of this class. All right? So that's where we want to get to. We want to get to a point where we're saying exactly the right things to exactly the right people and starting conversations that allow those potential perfect clients of yours to feel a connection to you. All right? Keep that in mind. So this class is not about tactics and strategies and everything. It's about getting to the bottom of that, because this is fundamental. If we don't get to the point where this is what you're doing, where you're starting those conversations and starting to make those connections, then any other tactics around using social media or email marketing will fall on deaf ears. Okay? This is the core of it. So, how do we do it? So, there's 3 really keys to being heard. The first is to know who you're talking to. Yeah? We're going to go into these in more detail. The second is to talk about stuff they're interested in listening to. Okay? We don't want to be talking to the wrong people about the wrong things now, do we? Or even the right people about the wrong things. And the third is to speak as the real you. Okay? The real you. So, let's go through these in turn. Understand your perfect client. Now, you've heard this before. I know you have. All the stuff about, your niche and everything. You've heard it before. But what I want to do with you here is I want you to think a little bit more deeply about this. Because, again, it's not on one level here. So we've got all the usual stuff, that we talk about when you're creating your niche and when you're trying to get a picture of your ideal client. We've got the usual stuff, all the demographics, is it male or female? What age group are they in? Are they married, single? Where do they live? Where do they hang out? What do they read? What do they search on Google for to help them with? You've got all of that stuff, all the usual stuff that we go through. And by the way, darling, if you haven't even gotten to this level with your perfect client yet, then I'm sorry, but frankly, it's no wonder nobody's listening to you. You really need to do some work on this. The next level, of course, is to understand what her, and I'm saying her, his, her, transgender, whatever. I'm just going to refer to her for now. Your perfect client could well be a man. I have some lovely male clients too. But it's understand what her problem is and how you help her to solve it. Because again, coming back to the usual stuff about creating your niche, you want to be working with a specific group of people with a specific challenge that you are the specialist in helping them with. Okay? And again, I'm sure you'll have heard all of this before. If you haven't, you need to come into my group and tell me, and we'll do some more basic stuff on this. But you've got to get clear on that. You've got to understand what that is. And when I say understand her problem, I don't mean just on a surface level. If we're going to be truly effective as coaches, then we need to get beneath that surface level. That's where we make the difference. But we can't get beneath that surface level if we can't demonstrate that we understand what's going on below that surface level. So, really understand what their problem is and how it makes them feel. What's keeping them up at night? How is it really making that problem, really making your client feel? Understand that, empathize with that, get to the bottom of it. But the big thing, I think, that a lot is often missed out of all of the classes and stuff that you get about, identifying your perfect client, is actually getting to know who she is in her heart and soul. Not just on a head level, not just on a practical level, but really getting into her heart and soul. Because this, my love, is where we can really start to make connections. This is where potential clients, if they really feel that we know them inside and out, that's when they come to us. Okay? And this is what we've got to try and get across to them. So who is she in her heart and soul? What does she care about? Apart from what you help her with, what presses her buttons? You know, it's, for me, nothing quite gets my back up like cruelty to animals. I'll be... See, here I go already. Facebook recently, there was a photograph of two young women, I use the phrase loosely, who had hung up a puppy and battered it. Do you know, I am not normally an angry, and I'm certainly not a violent person, but I could just feel it. Just a glimpse of that photograph, I could just feel the rage inside me. Really gets my blood boiling. What is it for your client? What does she really care about? What presses her buttons? You know, I calm down, Karen, because I turn into a raging she-devil over things like that. And we all have something, you know, even at the most level and calm of us, we have something that we care so deeply about that it can really get our backs up and it can really get us going. And this is all just understanding people. And the other side of that is, you know, what makes her go all gooey inside? You know, is she a sucker for puppies? Me? Or is it kittens? Or is it babies? You know, what makes her go all, oh. You need to understand this about her. What causes is she prepared to get behind? You know, if you were to say to her, you know, what petitions will you sign? What would you go on a march for? What would you get your pink shorts and t-shirt on and go running for? What charities do you care about? Why? Getting into the heart of her, who she is as a person. Not just who she is as a potential client. All of this will help you to communicate better with her. And what's most important to her in her life? What's her value structure? And how does she react when her values are compromised? And here's a very important one, I think, is how does she connect to her spirituality? Because spirituality is a very, very, very personal thing. You know, for some, it's all about they have a strong religious faith. For other people, you know, they have a real connection and affinity with the angelic realm. Other people, you know, they find it through the use of crystals and you know, Buddhism and things like that. For me, it's nature. My spirituality is founded in nature. I wonder at Mother Nature. I honestly do. I think it's just, you know, when you think about this beautiful little planet of ours, how every single creature and living thing, plant, animal, insect, everything has its part to play. When you sit and contemplate that, and even better if I sit and contemplate that whilst I'm out in the middle of woodland or on a beach connected with nature, that's where my spirituality comes from. Where is it for your client, for your perfect client? Yeah? This is how deeply I think you need to understand it, because this last one to me is the clincher. Okay? This is the clincher. Really, really, really getting to understand her. And to do this, you know, you're probably going to be looking at somebody who's a lot like you, actually. But this is what you need to understand, getting that deeply into your perfect client. Really understanding her. Not just the head stuff, not just the practical stuff. Get into her heart and soul. Know the person. Because when you know the person, you can make a deep connection. You can attract them. They will find you. So that was the first one, understanding your perfect client. The emphasis on understanding there. The second one, of course, was talking about stuff that they're interested in. So there you go. Don't talk to me about EastEnders. Now, for those of you who might be listening who are outside of the UK, EastEnders is a long-running soap opera on UK television. You can see the yawn. That's how I feel about it. Lots of people do talk about what's going on EastEnders. A lot of the time I am not even vaguely interested. And if I were your ideal client, you would know that. Okay? You would just know that. Because it's like, I just wouldn't be. And I'm being quite flippant here, I know I am, but when you understand who it is, then you do know what they'd be interested in hearing about. Let me give you a great example, okay? I want speed, not safety. So a good few years back now, actually, I was going shopping for a new car. I was going to buy myself a brand new car. I had the money in the bank and I was ready to buy. And I wandered into, it was a Mazda dealership. And this young salesman came over and, he started giving me the old patter. And he was talking to me about all of the safety features on the car. He was talking to me about how economical it is on the school run. He was talking to me about there's plenty of room in the boot, for all the family stuff and all your shopping and everything. Da 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 da. I wasn't interested in any of those things. I don't have children. I don't do the school run. I'm actually not that worried about how safe the car is. What I do want is speed. What I want out of a car is I want to know how fast that car will go from 0 to 60. I want to know, will that car grip the road while I'm throwing it around country lanes? That's what I want to know. But he didn't take the trouble to find that out. So the conversation he was having with me was going absolutely nowhere. Nowhere at all. None at all. Now, if he had taken the trouble to ask what it was I was looking for, what mattered to me, what I was interested in, why I might be looking at that particular car, he might have made the sale. As it turns out, I actually did buy that model of car later on, but not from him. Not from him. I just got annoyed with him. I got sick of listening to him. I was just not listening anymore. See what I'm getting at here? Okay, the better you understand your target client, the better you can talk to them in a way that will hook their interest and make them want to listen to you, that will make them relate to you, because that guy was not relating to me at all. Okay? Something that I want to say to you at this point is, I don't want you to be afraid to talk to only your perfect client, because not being specific enough, not being very clear about the person that you're trying to connect with, that's how your voice gets lost in the crowd when you're trying to appeal to too many people. Okay? So, if you, there might be some of your clients might be fans of EastEnders. They probably are if they're in the UK. But if your perfect client isn't, then don't talk about it. If your perfect client has a need for speed, not safety, talk about speed. Don't try to balance up speed and safety in the hope that you'll appeal to people who like both speed and safety. It won't happen. That's how you get lost. That's how you're not heard. You're just another blah, blah, blah. Okay? Talk to your potential clients about things that matter to them. Okay? Because the truth of it is, you cannot have an intimate conversation with a crowd. And that's what we're after here. We want our potential clients to feel like we are talking directly to that one person. An intimate conversation. Not broadcasting, not talking to the whole room, but we want people to feel like they're having an intimate conversation with you. Okay? And of course, let's now get on to you. Because again, I said right at the start of this, The coaching relationship is a personal one, a very personal one. Okay? It's based on trust. The person, your potential client, needs to believe that you get her, that you understand where she's coming from, that you have the answer that she's looking for. And she needs to trust you to help her with that. So it's no good you being a carbon copy of someone else. And I see this, I see this all the time. You'll see a coach who is clearly doing really, really, really well, getting all the clients that she wants or he wants, and, really rocking it in their business. And so you copy them. You copy them. No. It's okay to model their strategies and tactics, but not how they put themselves out there, not how they do it in terms of their personality. You can't be. You'll just be a copy. Yeah, you'll just be a copy. You won't be real. And also, I don't want you to be a greyed out version of your unique, colourful light, Yeah, there will be other coaches doing exactly the same as what you do. We know this. I don't know how many coaches there are in the world who help other coaches with their business the same as I do. They don't do it the same as me. They're not me. I'm not them. We don't want everybody to be the same. The people who are attracted to one coach won't be attracted to me. People who are attracted to me won't be attracted to another coach, and it's the same for you. Okay? Don't dim down your light in the hope of pleasing more people. That's nasty mind mischief. Be you. And speak from your values and passions. Whatever you believe in, there's a good chance that whatever you truly believe in, whatever you're passionate about, your ideal client you've already identified is going to have similar values and passions. When you think about your values, you wouldn't want to coach somebody whose values were so far removed from yours that it made you feel uncomfortable in their company. If somebody was to come along to me and say, Karen, help me set up a business selling dog furs to the fashion market, I'd be like, get out of my face, you monster. We don't want to attract people who don't share our values. We don't want to coach people who don't share our values. But if you want to attract people who do share your values and who value what you value, then you've got to speak about them. Otherwise, how will they know? It's no good holding back in case you offend somebody. It's no good, not saying, well, actually, I'm against this or I'm for that. Let people know. Let them know. And passion. Well, passion. I think it was Anita Roddick who said, passion persuades. It absolutely does. If you care and if you express that passion, that's attractive. It's attractive to your clients. They want that passion. So speak from your values and passions. Don't hold back. Don't hold back at all. Like I say, there's a good chance your ideal client shares your values and your passions. Good chance. And, do the work you're meant to do, not what you think will make money. I'm going to share a story of an old friend of mine, another lovely lady, a coach. She knows I'm sharing it. I told her I was going to in this class. Now, basically, this coach, she is strongly connected spiritually to the angelic realm. She believes faithfully that the angels protect her and guide her and help her to guide her clients. For years and years and years and years, she didn't allow herself to speak her truth. And it all came from fear. Fear that people would laugh at her. Fear that people wouldn't get her. fear that she wouldn't be able to get clients working in that realm. And so for years and years and years, she tried to shoehorn herself into more mainstream coaching. So she would go along to, your very traditional business breakfast networking events and try to get clients from that, talking about, how she could help them with their business by helping them work on themselves, but without really saying how she would do that. Keeping that bit about her connection with the angelic realm hidden, keeping it to herself. It didn't work. She didn't get the number of clients that she needed to get. But worse than that, far worse than that, it affected her personally. She knew she wasn't being herself. She knew she was hiding the truth about herself. She knew that she wasn't doing the work that she was here to do because she wasn't speaking about it. It frustrated her. It suppressed her. It actually had an impact on her health. The beautiful thing is that once she eventually accepted, and no, not accepted, she always accepted who she was. Once she was prepared to let other people see who she was and what she did, and she started speaking freely about it and sharing her insights, sharing her passion for what she did, and talking to people who shared that interest, who shared her values, who shared her belief system, and looking to work with those clients who were right for her, who wanted her to work with them in that angelic realm. Everything lightened. Everything lightened. She lightened. She found a new passion for her business. She started getting the clients that were perfect for her. Now, the people that she used to go business networking with probably think she's flipped her lid, frankly. And a good many of them are never, ever, ever going to work with her. But that doesn't matter, because working with those people and trying to work with those people who didn't appreciate what she did and how she did it was not good for her. And, I think she would be the first one. They didn't get the results because she couldn't work with them in the way that she was meant to work with them. She is now attracting exactly the right kind of clients for her. And she loves her work because she's doing what she's meant to do. So that's a very serious question for you. Are you doing coaching? Are you positioning your coaching in a way that feels entirely right for you? Or are you doing what you think you need to do to make money from your coaching? Trust me on this one, darling. When you do what you're meant to do, when you speak from your values and from your passions, the right people will be attracted to you. Okay? Again, I'm going to say it again. Right at the start of this class, I talked about the coaching relationship being based on trust. How it's a deeply personal one. If you're hiding the real you, or trying to be someone you're not, your potential clients will know it. They absolutely will know it. They'll sense it. Your energy will be wrong and they'll feel it. And that is a surefire way to repel clients. So you've got to be the real, uncensored you. Let it shine, sweetie. Let it shine. Say what you think. Tell people what you care about. And again, I've said it before, but say it again, that there's a very good chance that your perfect clients care about the same things as you care about. And if they see your passion and they see your values clearly displayed by you being you, okay, If you want to dye your hair pink because you fancy having pink hair, fab, but don't do it to get noticed. You don't have to become a shouty sweary if that's not who you are. Okay? You don't have to make people laugh if you're a little bit introvert and you're quite serious. If you are an outgoing, laughable kind, then put some humor into it. Be you. Okay? So, I'm conscious that I don't want to keep you sitting all day. So, what to do next then? Get really clear about who your perfect client really is at a heart and soul level. Okay? Understand that person. Everything about them. Yeah? And this is going to take you some thinking. You know, if you've come on this class because you're not being heard, then, like I said right at the start, it's because, you know, you're not getting the message across. And this is a key part of it. So get really clear about who your perfect client really is at that level. Take a good look at what you've been putting out to the world and how you're communicating with your potential clients. Are you just copying other coaches? And I don't say that to criticize you, darling. You know, it's very easy when you're struggling maybe to get the clients that you need. It's very easy to look at other people and think like, oh, that's working for her or for him, etc. Take a good look at what you're putting out there. Does it fit, really? Does it fit with who your perfect client is? Does it fit with who you are? Are you talking to your perfect for you client about things that they care about, that they're interested in? Okay? Are you talking about things in terms that express what you're interested in? You know, I'll give you a lovely little example here of how you can apply this. So, blog posts, which is, you know, just another form of putting communications out there to try and attract in the right people. I've already told you, my big connection is with nature. I love nature. If I can be outdoors, you know, listening to the birds in my garden or whatever, then that's me happy. So what I will often do is, and I happened on it by chance a couple of years ago actually, where it really sort of hit home for me, is I will kind of look at what's going on around me in nature and relate lessons to it. So the very first one I ever did was, I wrote a blog post called The Wasp's Nest Saga. Now, you'll be able to find that on my website if you want to read it, but basically what happened was, I discovered a wasp's nest in one of the bird boxes in my garden. Now, ordinarily, as I've said, I believe that everything in nature has its place. And so for a little while, I just ignored it. You know, the blue tits that had been nesting in it had all fledged and gone. So I just ignored this bird box full of wasps. But then, as happens, as we get into later on into the year, the abundance of food for wasps kind of dries up a bit, and that's when they start bothering you. You know, if you've got a glass of juice, fruit juice or something, and you're sitting in the garden, then, you know, you're suddenly inundated with wasps. So anyway, I got to a point where I thought I had to do something about it. Excuse me. So what I tried to do was I just tried to seal up the box so they couldn't get in and out. Wow, that did not work. So I told the story, and eventually I had to don, you know, thick coat, gloves, glasses, wellies, everything to go and try and tackle this wasp's nest. But what I did out of that, so it was a story from nature, and I turned it into a lesson from nature. I said, you know, what I was really impressed with these little wasps was their absolute determination to get inside this box after I tried to block it off for them. I mean, I had it surrounded in duct tape, every space around it and everything. They were chewing through the duct tape to get into it. Their absolute determination to get into that, and their teamwork. So what I did with that was I used something that I'm passionate about, that my perfect client I know cares about, you know, stuff that's going on in nature, and I used the story to show a lesson that we can learn. So that's just, you know, that what I'm talking about, understanding what they care about. You can do that too. You can do that kind of thing. You know, relate what you care about, what they care about, to the lessons that we can learn from it, that are applicable to whatever it is that they're struggling with. Okay? So, you need to have a look at what you've been doing. Okay. And then, of course, what you've got to do is you've got to make the changes. You've got to make the changes. sorry, sweetie, but, just listening to me talking to you here for, 45 minutes ain't going to change anything. You got to do the work here and you got to make the changes. So, you need to identify who your perfect client is, what you've been putting out there, and then identify what is that needs to change. How can I change this? How can I connect better with the people that I really want to connect with? And I really would strongly recommend that you just create this image in your head, a feeling about one particular person. There will be enough of that person. There really will be enough of that person. If they can identify you as being the right person for them, which they will only do if you're talking to them about things that they care about. Okay? Now, changing the conversations that you're having on social media, in your emails, at networking events and everything will make them more meaningful for your perfect client. I know they will. However, I'm also well aware that making these changes is an awful lot simpler said than done. Getting clear on who your perfect client is and committing to talking to just one person and exposing yourself for who you really are, I believe, the very areas that kick up all of our fears and mind mischief. It's the toughest thing to do, all right? Wow, it really is. The tactics around how to use Facebook ads and things like that, they're just a learning curve. This is the stuff that's really tricky, because this is the stuff where we will justify to ourselves why we shouldn't go for one individual client. This is the areas where we'll be like, oh, I can't put me out there. What if people judge me? What if people don't like me? What if? This is the area where it's kind of like the mind mischief minefield is vast, okay? So what I want you to consider is getting some support, and it's specifically getting some support with this in the Coach's Zone. The Coach's Zone is where you can get ongoing support from me, okay? And from the other members of the zone. So basically the Coach's Zone is my monthly membership club. And if you scroll on down this page a bit, you'll see all the information that you need about it. Okay? You get lots of others I'll tell you about in a minute. But basically the Coach's Zone is where you can get that ongoing support to help you to make sure that you are properly identifying your ideal client, to give you the support, and whether it be bum kicking or whether it be, loving support, we do a mixture of both, to actually get you out there speaking your truth and talking to people and connecting with people. Lots and lots of support on there for you. And I would really love to be able to continue this conversation with you and help you to get clear on it, because I'm very aware that this has very much been a one-way conversation. So, I'd love you to come into the zone, come and join this community and let me help you to get this right, to work this out properly. So, yeah. It's trying to do this by yourself. Your mind mischief is going to kick in on you. So please come and join us. Come and join us in the zone. You'll love it. I know you will. Apart from having me on your case, and I should tell you how. Within that, we have a private Facebook group, which is the community element of it. And it's a very loving space, a very supportive space. It's only for my paying members of the zone, so that everybody in there, we're all on each other's side. You also, with the zone, we get on a monthly live group coaching and Q&A call, and it is live. It's not one of these ones where you just have to type a question into a chat box. We actually get on a web call together and we talk to each other. So whatever's going on for you, whatever you're struggling with, you can get my direct help every month in those calls. So that's the real value in it for you. In addition to that, you also get things like, you get a ton of masterclasses on different aspects of building your business. You get business boost reports on various elements. You get lots of mindset chats. These are my audios where I talk to you about all the different kinds of mind mischief that might be blocking you and what you can do about it. You get access to the Techie Zone. These are all video tutorials on how to do all the techie aspects of your business. Everything from how to create a Twitter list and use it, right the way through to how to set up a membership site, etc. You also get access to the Vault. Now, the Vault is like everything. There's planners, resource sheets, resource guides, all of these classes like this that I create go in there, so you've got access to all the backlog of that. You've got access to all my free reports that I used to do and still don't do and things like that. You've got access to all of that, and you get weekly success tips. But the big thing about it, really, and the real, all that stuff is massively useful and you're going to love it. But the real thing about it is that bit about, that support that you're going to get. And because it's a monthly membership, you can, there's no minimum commitment to it. There's no, you don't have to stay forever if you don't want to. You can come in for a few months and get your head sorted out if you need to, but I generally find that a lot of people do stay. But there's no commitment to it. And it's only £37 a month. So really would like to encourage you and invite you to come and join us in the zone and, give it a try at least. You can get, like I said, you can get all of the information that you need about it just by scrolling down on the page that you're watching this from. I hope that I've been able to help you today in getting clearer about how you can get heard, about how you can make those important connections with people who are likely to become your clients. And I hope I've given you something deeper to think about than just, here's another tactic or here's another strategy for you. This is fundamental. So, right, I'm going to stop talking now. 46 minutes. That's long enough for you to sit and listen to me. Go ahead, darling. Do the work that you need to do. Get your thinking cap on and get clear on your ideal client. Have a look at what you have been putting out there and whether or not, if you were your ideal client looking at it, would it hook you? Would you think, oh wow, this is a coach for me? Or would you just be like, oh, another vanilla coach? And come and join us in the zone. I'd love to welcome you into it. It will be fab to help you out with this some more. Okay, that's it. I'm going to sign off now. So that's me saying bye for now. Bye, darling.